Hello, baseball fans. This is Anthony with BBSN, Bleacher Bum Sports Network. And we are here today with Game 3 in a series from our 1922 St. Louis Browns Time Machine replay, where the Browns take the Toronto Blue Jays spot in 1977. And this is Game 3 of a series against the New York Yankees. And both teams have a win in this series. The Blue Jays opened the series with a resounding 12-0 spanking, which prompted Billy Martin to curse out several reporters, break 2 water coolers, and punch a hole in the wall in the Yankees clubhouse. The Bronx Bombers did come back in Game 2 to capture a 7-5 win, so we are tied up at 1, and 2 more games left in the series. And so let's get to our starting lineups. First of all, the pitching matchup for today, taking the mound for the 1922 Browns, is their ace, Urban Shocker, also a future 1927 Yankee. And for the hometown Bombers, Don Gullett, former Cincinnati Red, takes the hill. So we should have a good pitching matchup. And with that, our starting lineups. Leading off for the Browns in right field, Jack Tobin. Frank Ellerby hits second, and he will be at third base. George Sisler bats third and will be at first base. Left fielder Ken Williams will bat cleanup. Baby Doll Jacobson will be the center fielder for the Browns and bat fifth. Marty McManus mans second base and hits sixth. Hank Severide behind the plate bats seventh. Designated hitter Chick Shorten bats eighth. And in the ninth spot, shortstop Wally Gerber. And for the hometown Yankees, who completely shook up their lineup today, probably on a whim of Billy Martin. Willie Randolph is in the number 1 spot today. He plays second base. Catcher Thurman Munson bats second. Designated hitter Reggie Jackson back in the lineup will be in the 3rd slot. Greg Nettles from the hot corner will bat 4th. Mickey Rivers, center fielder, normally the leadoff hitter, has been bumped down to 5th in the lineup. And Mr. Consistency Roy White bats 6th. He'll be in left field. And Cliff Johnson will be, actually, never mind, Reggie will be in right field, sorry. And Cliff Johnson, the designated hitter, will bat 7th. Chris Chambliss, the first baseman, moved all the way down to 8th. And Bucky Dent, who was a guest in the booth in today's Yankees-Rays ball game, which is still going on, he will be in the 9th spot. So I just need to make a quick adjustment to the lineup card because I had Reggie as designated hitter in error. And he is actually playing today. So just get his defensive ratings in, and we are ready to go. Don Gullett is on the hill. His warm-up tosses are done, and the lefty prepares to face Jack Tobin. And the first pitch, and that's a ground ball down to second base. 4-3 on the putout. Randolph over to Chambliss, and 1 down. Next up is third baseman Frank Ellerby, the pitch from Gullett. And that's going to be a double. Ellerby wraps that into the left center field gap, and he's into second standing up. And he is actually the least fearsome batter in this Browns lineup, so not a good sign there for Gullett and the Yankees. As the meat of the order comes up, George Sisler, the batter. And Sisler struck him out. Gullett with a bender. Gets Sisler waving 2 down, and that brings up Ken Williams, the power-hitting left fielder, 37 circuit shots in 1922. And that's going to be a ground ball down to second base, and Randolph up with that over to Chambliss. And the first inning has come and gone. Browns get a hit, leave 1, no runs. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and no score in this one to start it off. So on the mound for the visitors, Urban Shocker. Shocker off to a great start. He is 3-0 in this replay and has been fairly stout in each of his outings. Willie Randolph set to lead it off for the Yanks. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. And Gerber is a 2. And 3-2 makes the play. And Willie Randolph heads back to the dugout on the ground out. Thurman Munson. The Yankees captain steps in. Stares down Shocker with his magnificent mustache. Here comes the pitch. And 6-8. That's going to be a single for Munson. So Shocker, he wants to keep people out of the 6 column on his card as Munson. Not a big runner. He needs a 2 to try and steal. Will not happen. And Mr. October trying to get a little April magic going here. Reggie Jackson digs in. Here comes a pitch. And struck him out. Blows it by, and Reggie, the vicious cut. He was going for deep to right field there. Got nothing but a deep pocket of air. 2 down. Cleanup batter Greg Nettles up. And here comes a pitch from Shocker. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. And Baby Doll under that puts it away. So the Yankees in their half of the first also get a hit, but cannot do anything with it. 1 left. We head to the top of the second inning. And our score remains 0-0. Baby Doll Jacobson set to lead off for the 22 Browns. Here comes a pitch from Gullett. And Jacobson wraps this one hard. And that's going to be a triple. Rattles around down in the corner there. Jackson tries to get it back in. And Jacobson with the head-first slide, and the St. Louis Browns. They hit triples very well. I believe that is their 12th or 13th of this replay campaign. Marty McManus up, and that's a ground ball down to third base. And on that one, and the run is going to come in and score. So Nettles had to move to his left and was not able to make the play at home. RBI ground out for McManus, and the Brownies take a 1-0 lead as Jacobson comes home. Hank Severide, the catcher, up. And that's a ground ball down to short. Bucky F. and Dan over to Chambliss, 2 down. Chick Shorten, the batter now, the first and only designated hitter for 1922. And that is going to be a split chance. Shorten gets a hold of that, and that is going to be a single. So falls into the gap, but Mickey Rivers able to get it back in and holds Shorten to first base only. 2 outs, 1 on. Wally Gerber, 9th place hitter up. Gullett gets a sign. Kicks, delivers, and 5-8. And that is going to be a single back up the middle. Runners advance 2 bases. So Shorten motors over to third, and the Brownies threatening to create some more havoc here. Already 1 run in. Runners on the corners. 2 are out. Jack Tobin top of the order up. And Tobin grounded out to Randolph his first time up. Gullett the pitch. Struck him out. Swing and a miss. And Tobin sit down on strikes, but the Brownies, they come up with 3 hits. Play to run, leave 2 left. We are heading to the bottom of the second inning, and St. Louis has the early 1-0 lead as Urban Shocker comes back out to the mound. Mickey Rivers, noted aficionado of the racetracks, steps in, and in an unfamiliar 5th spot, but still hitting leadoff here in the second inning. And Mick the Quick singles back up the middle. So he is on, and he is the stir that gets the straw that stirs the Yankees drink. He will try and steal on a 5 or less, and he does not get the lead. That brings up Mr. Consistent Roy White, and 1-6, and that's going to be a pop-up to shortstop, and Gerber underneath that, 1 down. Big Cliff Johnson, the designated hitter, taking Reggie's favorite spot, making Reggie work in the field today. And 1 and a 9, struck him out. Shocker comes up big, 2 down. And Chris Chambliss hitting 8th, but he still has some pop. Shocker cannot let up on him. Here comes the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Jacobson a few steps to his right. He's under it, puts it away. So second inning is over. Yankees waste a leadoff single. We head to the top of the third. And St. Louis leads this one 1-0. And Frank Ellerby, who got a double his first time up off Don Gola, steps up, ready to go. Here comes a pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down to third. Easy hop for Nettles over to Chambliss, one down. George Sisler up. And Sis, the Hall of Famer, 3-6. And he's going to rack that down the line, and he's going to motor around into third base. Yet another triple for these Browns. And they do this well. That brings up Ken Williams. Another run 90 feet away. Good off RBI opportunity for Williams. Here comes a pitch and pops him up, and that's a big play. Randolph's going to take that in. Sisler has no choice but to hold. 2 down, runner on third. Baby Doll Jacobson up. And Baby Doll, he hit a triple his first time up and later scored. That was in the second inning. And the pitch is 3-6, and that's a run-scoring single. So Baby Doll making some early noise with his bat, and the Browns now have a 2-0 lead. Jacobson fooling around, tries to get a lead on Gola. He's going. And Munson is a -3. And Baby Doll is an A stealer. So that is going to be 1-12. Here comes the throw from Munson, and he guns him down at second base. So third out of the inning comes with Jacobson caught stealing. But he plates another run on the Browns' 6th hit of the ball game already. We head to the bottom of the third inning, and our score is St. Louis 2 and New York 0. So Bucky F. and Dent, the 9th place hitter in this Yankees lineup, set to face Shocker here in the bottom of the third inning. Shocker the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field that Williams puts away. 1 down, back to the top of the order. Willie Randolph digs in the pitch. And that's going to be another fly ball to Williams. So Ken keeping busy today, for this inning at least. 2 out, nobody on. Thurman Munson up. And Shocker looking for our first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. And that's going to be a ground ball down to third. Ellerby plucks that, whips it over to Sisler, and the Yankees do indeed go down in order. So we head to the top of the 4th inning, score St. Louis 2, Yankees 0. And Marty McManus will lead it off for the Browns. Top of the 4th, Don Gola still on the hill for the Yanks. And that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and Bucky F. and Dent is a 2. And 10-2, and Dent throws that away into the bleachers. That's going to be a 2-base error. And McManus motors into second base, and not what the Yankees needed to start this inning, as Hank Severide is up now, runner in scoring position, nobody out. Goal at the pitch, and pops him up. So Gola has come up big, inducing a couple of pop-ups with runners in scoring position. Willie Randolph takes care of that, whips it around the diamond. Chick Short now up. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Gola jams him, and Shorten can't get around on it. 2 outs. And Gola bearing down when he has to. Wally Gerber now, 9th place hitter in the Browns lineup. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Roy White drifts over, taps his glove, puts that away. So the Browns do get a base runner on an error, but no hits and nobody left. And we're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 St. Louis in the lead. And Urban Shocker, who would go on to be an integral part of the 1927 Yankees, the greatest team ever, part of their pitching staff. And if you watch this series, you know a little bit of the background on him. Sadly passed away due to a heart condition at a very young age. Reggie Jackson up. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. And Gerber a 2. And 17 makes a nice play, whips that over to first base, and Jackson is gone. 1 down, Greg Nettles the batter. And Nettles, he flew out to center field. Baby Doll Jacobson took care of him his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball to left, and Ken Williams says, I'll do the honors this at bat. 2 down. So Shocker, he has pitched well in every start. He's breezing through this Yankees lineup today. Mickey Rivers. And Rivers, he's going to get a hold of that one, drive it into the outfield, and he's digging. He's going to go for second base in head first ahead of the throw. Mickey Rivers a 2-out double. So Mick the Quick being aggressive, using his speed to get into second base and set the Yankees up with a runner in scoring position for Mr. Consistency, Roy White. Here comes the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down to second base, however. McManus takes care of that over to Sisler. So the Yankees get their first runner to second base, but still no dice on the scoreboard. We're through 4. Still 2-0 St. Louis. And Shocker is doing what he does well, and that's put people down. Not a big strikeout pitcher. He has 2 so far in this game, but induces a lot of ground outs and easy pop-ups. Jack Tobin the batter, top of the order for the Brownies. And that's going to be a hard hit ball towards second base, and Randolph cannot get to it. That's a single. So Tobin and the Browns, they continue to hit the ball. That is the 7th hit of the ball game. And this team is hitting well over 300 as a unit so far in this replay. 332, I believe. Frank Ellerby up, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. Bucky effing Dent over to Randolph, over to Chambliss, and 6-4-3, twin killing. And that erases the Browns' threat here. Brings up George Sisler with 2 outs now. Bullet. And that's going to be a walk. So Sisler, patient at the plate, draws a base on balls, and he will run on a 6 or less. And he is not going to go. I actually thought about incorporating a automatic pickoff rule if I roll double 6s, but did not announce that before the game, so it wouldn't really be fair to put it in now, even though I am a Yankees fan. 6 and an 8, that's going to be a split chance, and Williams, he's going to be held to a single there, but Sisler advances to third base, and that double play looming very big right now. Runners on the corner, 2 outs for Baby Doll Jacobson, and Baby Doll, he is 2 for 2, has a single, triple RBI, and he has scored a run. Goal at the pitch, and struck him out. Gollett comes back big. So the Brownies get a couple of hits, no runs, leave 2. And we have officially hit the halfway point of this game. St. Louis holds a 2-0 lead over the Bombers. Urban Shocker very comfortable. Mowing through this Yankees lineup. He's given up 3 hits, has a couple of strikeouts, no walks through 4. Big Cliff Johnson set to lead it off for New York. And Johnson gets all of that one, and that is deep into the night, into left field bleachers. Going, gone. Touch them all. Cliff, a solo home run to lead off the 5th. And the Yankees are on the board. So that cuts the Browns' lead in half. As Johnson taking his time getting around the bases, soaking in the adulation of the crowd. And Chris Chambliss comes up now, nobody out. Clean slate for Shocker on the base paths. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field, Baby Doll. And Baby Doll is a 1. So 111, he's able to get to that, runs it down easily, 1 down. And that brings up Bucky Dent. 1 run in, nobody on base. Shocker the pitch. And that's going to be a split chance, and Dent rattles that off the wall. Not quite as prodigious as his shot at Fenway in '78, but he's going to be on second base, and the Yankees are in business. 1 down, runner in scoring position. Willie Randolph looking to bring in the tying tally in this one. Shocker the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-6. Ground ball down to shortstop. Runner has to hold. Gerber takes care of Randolph, 2 down. Thurman Munson steps in, and a base hit will tie it. Here comes the pitch. And ground ball down to third. Not going to happen. Ellerby, a nice play over to Sisler. So the Yankees, they do tally a run on a couple of hits, leave 1. We are through 5. Your score, St. Louis 2, New York Yankees 1. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, will lead off the 6th inning for the home team. And as we head to the top of the inning, Marty McMahon is set to go for the visitors. Gullett's still on the hill. Here comes a pitch. And that is going to be ripped and into left field in front of Roy White. Single. So Gullett not helping himself here, leaving some pitches out over the plate, and the Browns will take advantage of that. One of the finer hitting teams. 7 regulars in this lineup had batting averages over 300. Hank Severai, the catcher, up. He hit .321 in 1922. And that's going to be a single. Runner advances 2. So we're at the corners here. And for the Browns, they now have 10 hits in this ball game, have only plated 2 runs, however. And the Yankees are going to get some action going in the bullpen. Dick Tidrow is going to start throwing as Chick Shorten steps up, and Gullett needs a strikeout or a pop-up right now. And 6 and a 5, that's a ground ball down to shortstop. Bucky F. Dent, he has 1 error in this game already. And 15 and a 2, Dent fields it, whips it over to Randolph, over to first, and they turn the double play, but McManus comes home to score. It's 3-1 Browns. 6-4-3 on that twin killing, and no RBI for Shorten. So bases are empty, and Wally Gerber, the last place hitter in the Browns lineup, steps in. Gullett the pitch, and that's a ground ball down to short. Dent up with that easily over to Chambliss. And could have been worse, but still, the Browns tally yet another run. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and St. Louis leads this one 3-1. Urban Shocker, only blemish on his record was a home run given up to Cliff Johnson in the last inning, as Reggie Jackson set to lead it off. And Jackson takes a big rip, but he doesn't get it all. And that's going to be comfortably taken in right field short of the track by Jack Tobin, 1 down. Greg Nettles up, and Nettles. Here comes a pitch. And that's going to be a fly out to center. Jacobson puts Nettles away, 2 outs. And Shocker pitches with a very noticeable ease and a great amount of poise on the mound, 4-8. And that's going to be a pop out to first base. Sisler drifts into foul territory. He's going to put that away. So Urban Shocker shakes off that home run by Cliff Johnson last inning and has a 1-2-3 6, and we are 2/3 of the way through this one. St. Louis still leads at 3-1. Top of the 7th, Gullett on the mound. Tidrow is ready to go if needed. Jack Tobin up top of the order, and Tobin gets a hold of a Gullett slider, and that's going to be a single driven into center field. This Browns lineup is relentless. They just keep coming at you. That is Tobin's second hit of the day. He'll run on a roll of 3. Not going to happen. Frank Ellerby up. And Ellerby, they're going to play small ball, try and get an insurance run advanced over, and that is a 4. And batter's thrown out by the pitcher. Runner advances 1. So Ellerby goes down 1-3 with a sacrifice hit. 1 out, and runner in scoring position for the meat of the St. Louis order, starting with George Sisler. And Sisler a future Hall of Famer who had 2 sons who also played in the big leagues, gets a pitch from Gullett, and he's going to draw another walk. So runners on first and second, and Williams is going to be the last batter Gullett faces here unless he gets him out. 4-9. And Williams gets a hold of that towards second base. Randolph leaps and snags that. A great play by Willie Randolph. 2 down. And Baby Doll Jacobson, he has 2 hits, single and a triple. Has scored, knocked in a run. He's also struck out. Gullett has a sign. Here comes a pitch. And pops him up to shortstop. Bucky Dent under that. And the Brownies are retired. They do get a hit and a walk, but leave the runners on first and second base. And we head into the 7th inning stretch. Still 3-1 Yanks. And the crowd unleashes a roaring chorus of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" as Shocker prepares to face Roy White here in the bottom of the 7th. And the last strains of the old ball game drift away into the New York night, and we are ready to go. 7th inning, Roy White up, the pitch. And Shocker pops him up. Sisler's going to take care of that. 1 down, Big Cliff Johnson. And 2-1 pitch, and Shocker comes up high and tight on that. A little chin music. Here's a payoff pitch to Cliff. And 1-7. That's going to be a ground ball down to third base. Ellerby takes care of that. 2 down. So Shocker sends a message, "Don't take me deep." Johnson heads back to the dugout. They exchange words. Chambliss up now. And 2-5, ground ball down to second base. McManus has that, whips it over to Sisler's sidearm. And Shocker just keeps getting stronger. 1-2-3, go the Bombers again. And that is the 3rd time, 2nd inning in a row that has happened. So we head to the top of the 8th inning, still 3-1. And looks like the Yankees are going to make a pitching change. So Gullett, he managed to dance out of trouble a few times. Still not what I would call a spectacular outing as Dick Tidrow comes in for the Bombers. Tidrow 11-4, 3.16 ERA. Was good starting and out of the pen. Had 5 saves as well in 1977. So we close the book on Gullett. 7 innings pitched. And he gives up a total of 11 hits. And again, this Browns lineup, they'll just keep coming at you. Gullett was able to scatter them and stay out of, could have been much, much worse. And Don, he does walk 2. Walks 2 and strikes out 4. Did not give up any home runs. So Tidrow is set to take over, and Marty McManus set to hit for the Browns here in the 8th inning. Pitch from Tidrow. And 5-8 pops him up to first base. Chambliss over. Calls off Munson. He's going to take that in foul territory. 1 down. Hank Severide up. The catcher, Sevy. He's 1 for 3 today. And 5-9. Struck him out. Tidrow. The high heat gets that by Severide. 2 away. And Chick Shorten steps in now. 1922's only designated hitter. And that's going to be a walk. So Shorten reaches base for the second time today. He also singled back in the second inning. And shortstop Wally Gerber comes up. Gerber, 267 hitter in 1922. And double fours, that's going to be a shallow fly ball to center field. Mick the Quick comes in, takes care of that. And Brownies are retired in the 8th inning. And we head to the bottom of the frame, still 3-1 St. Louis, and still Urban Shocker on the mound dealing for the Brownies as Bucky Dent steps in. And Bucky going to make something happen here, get a late inning rally going for the Bombers, and that's a ground ball down to shortstop. Gerber's going to take care of that. So 1 away, and that makes 9 in a row set down by Shocker now. Back to the top of the order, Willie Randolph. And Randolph takes a poke at that and draws a walk, pulled it back just in time. So that is going to be Urban Shocker's first free pass of the ball game. And Randolph with a 2-run deficit, and he steals on a roll of 3 or less. He's going to stay put. Thurman Munson up. Pitch to the Yankees captain, and that's going to be a single, runners advance 1. So Munson and the Yankees have a little something going here, a little something in the bottom of the 8th inning. Shocker, no action in the Browns bullpen. They're going to ride their ace here. Reggie Jackson up the pitch. And 2 and a 5, and that is a single. And Randolph, he is a 1-16. They're going to hold him at third base, station to station now. Only 1 out, and the sack's loaded for Greg Nettles. And Nettles looking for a little bit of New York City magic here. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball down to first base. Sisler has no choice but to take it to first base himself. Everybody's going to advance. So Nettles, on a 3 unassisted, does get an RBI as Randolph comes in to score. And it is now 3-2 with Mickey Rivers up. Runners on second, third, 2 outs. This is clutch. And Bucky Dent on the Rays Yankees broadcast was talking about what a clutch hitter Mickey Rivers was. Let me see what he can do here. And 3 and a 4, no sir. That's a fly ball into shallow right field. And Tobin's going to come in and take care of that. So the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, leave 2, both in scoring position. And we're heading for a big finish. It is 3-2 St. Louis going into the top of the 9th inning. And Tidrow back out for his second inning of work. Top of the order for the Brownies, Jack Tobin up. And 2 and a 6, and that's going to be a split chance, probably a single, yes sir. Almost takes Tidrow's head off. And that is the 12th hit of the day for the Browns. They are just unreal. Try and steal on 3 or less. Tobin stays put, and Frank Ellerby up. He's not going to bunt this time. And that's going to be a single, and Tobin is a 14. He's going to hold at second base. So 13 hits on the day for the Browns. Nobody out, 2 runners on, Tidrow to Sisler. And that's going to be a single, runners advance 2. So Sisler, a little bit of insurance there, some breathing room for Shocker. It's now 4-2 Browns, runners on the corners, nobody out. And in the Yankees bullpen now, Ken Clay begins to loosen up rapidly. He must, Tidrow must face at least 2 more batters. Ken Williams up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. And if 1 or more runners are forced, runner on first is out, batter is safe. So that is going to be a fielder's choice. So Williams has the RBI. Ellerby comes in to score, and Sisler is out at second base. One down, and that makes it 5-2 now for the Browns, and that should be a comfortable lead for Shocker. And 4-7, Baby Doll Jacobson rips out towards Nettles, and Nettles, a nice diving play for the put out, and he cannot double up Williams at first base, but a great play by Nettles for the second out. And Williams just made it back in ahead of Nettles' throw there. So 2 down. Runner on first base, but McManus up. Here comes a pitch, 6-3. That's going to be a ground ball back to Tidrow. And Tidrow is a 2. And 2-5. Tidrow makes the play over to first base. And the Browns are retired in the top of the ninth, but they just keep coming at you. They tack on a couple more on 3 hits. And they now have 14 hits for the ball game. That is just crazy. We head to the bottom of the ninth for the Yankees. Last chance for the Bombers, and they trail this one 5-2. So Shocker, still no action in the bullpen. They're going to go with him for the complete game. Roy White, Mr. Consistency, set to lead it off for the Yanks. Shocker the pitch. And White gets a hold of that, and that's going to be a single. So it's not over yet, and Roy White is not going to try and steal with a 3-run deficit, hoping to have Cliff Johnson make it a single-run deficit. Pops him up to third base, however, Ellerby under that. 1 down. Chris Chambliss up, the powerful New York first baseman. And 6-9, that's going to be a single. And White's going to try for third. He needs 15 or less, and he is in there. So runners at the corners, 1 out now. And Bucky effing Dent, he who makes magic. Can he go Boston on them again? 3-5. That's a ground ball down to shortstop. Not going to happen. 6-4-3. Gerber to McManus to Sisler, and it is all over. So the Brownies, they come back and win Game 3 of the series. They have now won 2 of the first 3, and we have 1 more. And this is shaping up to be an epic rivalry over the course of this season. So our final numbers today. For the Browns, they score 5 runs on 14 big hits. It's like a beehive with them. They just keep stinging you. And the Yankees, they come alive late. They only had 5 hits heading into the 8th, but they get 4 over the last 2 innings, so 9 hits on the day, 1 error. But it's not going to be enough as Urban Shocker gets his 4th win. He goes the distance and scatters those 9 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He walks 1, and Shocker strikes out, looks like just 2. Yep. 2 strikeouts and no home runs. And Dick Tidrow, who was tasked with keeping the Yankees close, could not do it. He gives up 2 runs in his 2 innings of work, walks 1, strikes out 1 as well. So, player of the game. Jack Tobin was 3 for 5, but only scored 1 run. Sisler had a couple walks, couple hits, RBI, and a run scored. And Baby Doll Jacobson, single, triple. So really close here. It looks like, we're going to go ahead and give it to Sisler. He was on base 4 out of 5 times. 2 walks, a single, and a triple. Scored a run, knocked in a run, struck out his other time up. So George Sisler is our St. Louis player of the game in this win. And again, that's it from New York. Final score, Browns 5, Yankees 2. We'll be back with Game 4 of this great series. And until next time, keep rolling for the fences. Have a good one. Peace out.